After an unforgettable trip in June, we are back in the UK once again in October. This time, our journey will take us through Northern Ireland and then across to Ireland and Wales. As always, this trip is all about walking across towns, embracing slow travel, and exploring the nooks and crannies of these wonderful destinations. Join us as we set off on this autumn journey through the British Isles. Hello everyone, welcome to Cat Couple Chronicles. In the first leg of our journey, we are in Belfast, the second largest city in Ireland. We arrived here yesterday and since then the weather has stayed the same. Steady rain non-stop. But the rain would not deter us. We are very much in the mood to explore. Our plan for the day is to start with St. George's Market, especially since it's the weekend market. From there, we plan to walk through the Belfast city centre and hunt down the famous Glass of Thrones. So yes, it's going to be a long day of wandering the city with raincoats on in this rather crummy weather. After a hearty breakfast, we've officially begun our adventure. Right here is the Crown Bar, a beautifully preserved Victorian pub. I've heard its interior is richly decorated and absolutely worth seeing. So between today and tomorrow, let's see if we can squeeze in a visit, though our list is already packed with plans. This is the monument to the unknown women worker by Louise Walsh. The sculpture features two figures. On the left, a matronly figure gently places a hand on the shoulder of the shorter woman beside her, offering comfort and solidarity. Both the figures are covered with everyday objects and symbols that represent tools commonly associated with women's work. The seahorse is a symbol of Belfast, reflecting the city's connection to its harbour and maritime heritage. You'll spot seahorses everywhere, from lampposts and bins to beautifully crafted stained glass windows. This striking Gothic-style structure is the Assembly Buildings, formerly known as Church House. Today it serves as the headquarters of the Presbyterian Church in Ireland and is an important landmark of the city. That's Belfast City Hall. We plan to visit it tomorrow. We are now heading towards St. George's Market. On Sundays, it is open between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. We have reached St. George's Market. Let's go in and explore. Built between 1890 and 1896, St. George's Market has picked up numerous local and national awards, celebrated for its fresh produce and lively atmosphere. In 2023, it was even crowned the UK's best large indoor market. St. George's Market is well known for its wide selection of fresh produce, artisan foods, and beautifully handcrafted items, making it a must visit. It's not just one of Belfast's oldest markets, but also widely regarded as one of the best markets in the UK and Ireland. Since it's mid-October, Halloween decorations are everywhere you look. It feels especially fitting to experience this season here, as Halloween has its roots in ancient Celtic Ireland with the festival of Samhain. It marked the beginning of the Celtic New Year and end of harvest and the start of winter. The Celts believed this was a time when spirits and fairies could cross over into the human world, sometimes causing mischief, sometimes visiting loved ones. To protect themselves, people wore costumes to ward off these spirits, and food offerings were left out as part of the rituals. Over time, these traditions traveled across the Atlantic with Irish immigrants and eventually evolved into the Halloween celebrations we know today, especially in the United States. As Christianity spread, the church designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day. The evening before came to be known as All Hallows' Eve, which over time was shortened to Halloween. Another thoughtful feature of St. George's Market is its quiet hour. On Sundays, between 10 am and 11 am, live music is switched off and overall noise levels are reduced. This creates a more welcoming environment, especially for visitors with autism and their families. The items here feel very different from any of the markets we've visited before. It's wonderful to spend hours here, browsing through stalls selling scented candles, clothing, handmade jewelry, recycled and upcycled goods, household items, antiques, garden plants, souvenirs, and a variety of health and beauty products. This bell dates back to 1821 and was originally used for the old fish market. It was later lost for many years and then found again in the basement of Belfast City Hall. The bell was carefully restored to its Victorian era glory, complete with original weights, cogs, and chains. Its special mechanism is designed to prevent the regular chimes from disturbing concerts or events taking place inside St. George's Market. As we leave St. George's Market, we head in the direction of the Riverside. This is the River Lagan, and over there is the Queen's Bridge. This 19.5 meters tall sculpture in Thanksgiving Square is the Beacon of Hope. It is also nicknamed the Thing with the Ring or Nuala with the Hula. This beautiful metal structure by Andy Scott stands above a bronze globe engraved with world cities. We have now walked across to the other side of Queen's Bridge, where one of the Glass of Thrones installations stand. But we'll dive deeper into that in the next part of my Belfast video. That brings this chapter of our Belfast walk to an end. Despite the grey skies and constant drizzle, we have already loved everything we have explored so far. Thanks so much for tagging along. Take care, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.